Hi, this is Jean Craig. I'm the editor-in-chief at Soundings Magazine, and welcome to our virtual boat show. Joining me today is my colleague Dan Harding. He's the editor-in-chief of Motoryacht magazine. He's also one of my favorite writers. I'm happy to report that I recently got a preliminary look at one of Dan's stories that's coming in a future issue of PMY. This story is about a brand new boat model called a Summit 54 motor yacht. Dan's one of the first reporters in the U.S. to get aboard the boat, which was supposed to debut at the spring shows. Unfortunately, its debut has been delayed, but Dan was still able to check out the boat. And usually when he reviews boats, he sees them for the first time from a dock and then boards and goes for a ride. But this boat test was a little different, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, no, thanks, Gene. It was definitely one of the most unusual starts to it. I was able to find the ship on a ship. We got aboard a container ship, an 1,100-foot ship in Savannah, Georgia. And that access was really incredible. We had to sign our life away at a couple points, but we made our way down these long alleyways, climbing up different areas. Really had free reign of this ship. It was like a childhood dream come true. But that's where we found the Summit 54 and kind of got to see what takes place in that kind of delivery, where we helped kind of prep the boat. Well, I didn't really get to do much prepping. I did a lot of peeling of tape, but yeah, we got to see the boat get offloaded right into the water, and it was a really amazing part of the experience. But very thankful to have had that.
That's pretty cool. So the boat was on a container ship that had just come from Taiwan. Is that
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the Summit brand is a new brand by the parent company of Kadey-Krogen, and
Right.
both brands are built in Taiwan, and now soon to be distributed in the U.S. So can you tell us what the difference is between the Summit brand and the Kadey-Krogen brand, and how the two meet in the middle, or where do they meet?
Sure. Yeah, no, it's a really great question, because it's not, the Summit isn't a line of Kadey-Krogen. It really is like a true sister company. But that being said, it's built at the same yard. It's built by the same craftsmen. It's the same corporate team, and really the same family that you get with the Kadey-Krogens. That's just about where the similarities end. You know, you get that proven construction, but this is a true motor yacht, semi-planing hull with a top end of 25 knots. It's 3 staterooms, really kind of part of the motor yacht market. And whereas the Kadey-Krogens are staying in their lane with the more traditional trawlers.
Right. So Kadey-Krogen really kind of helped create the culture of trawlers 40 years ago, right? Was the 42 was the first boat launch for that brand, I believe, and
Right.
kind of changed cruising to some degree. You know, they were built specifically for people who had a lot of time and enthusiasm and initiative to be on the water for long periods, going slowly and really seeing the world. So the Summit then is designed for a faster mindset, or a person with less time.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're hoping it's going to attract a bit of a younger boat buyer kind of into their boat building family there. I know I've gotten to cruise some of the more traditional trawlers, and once you go on one, you really realize how well built they are, and how much that has going for them. But I think the Kadey-Krogen team would tell you how many boat shows they've had, and maybe had customers come by and say, "I love your boats, but I just can't afford 7, 8 knots right now while I'm working," and people are busier now than ever, so it is a bit of a tough sell sometimes.
Got it. So it's a boat with some speed and performance, and yet great construction for people who, like you, who maybe like to move at a faster clip. So Dan, how quickly were you moving on this delivery run? I think you said you went from Savannah down to Stewart, which is, what is it, 300 miles maybe?
Yeah, it was about that. And I was thankful to have some of that speed. The was a little bit of a shipping snafu that left us without mattresses. So I don't do too well if I don't get a good night's sleep. I can be a little cranky. So I was thankful for a close to 20-knot cruise is what we found to be most efficient. And it turned our delivery into a nice 2-day trip, where a more traditional trawler, did the math, it really would have been either a week-long trip or would have at least included 2 or 3 overnight legs. So I was definitely thankful for the extra speed.
Well, it sounded like you needed it for a portion of the trip. You were not always in flat, calm seas having, the most enjoyable day on the ocean. There were some lumpy moments as well.
Yeah, our first leg was a real long day. I think maybe 12 to 14-hour day. It was a nice rolling sea. I mean, we'll call it 4 to 6, and while it was a nice day, it really let you realize how sturdy this boat was. I mean, the only creaks and moans I think were coming from my neck and back, but the boat was like really quiet, and which is amazing because it just came up for container ship, and it was like no rattles, no cabinets were loose. It really gave me a sense of the construction of this boat, but it really wasn't until the second day, because it was kind of foggy, we had rolling seas, you didn't really get to appreciate the speed with nothing around you. But it was the next day we were in the ICW, we really got to open it up and really be cruising in the mid 20-knot range, and that really, to me, showed how different this boat is.
So the hull is designed by Michael Peters, is that right?
Yep.
And what was the power in this first hull number 1 for this new line?
Yeah, so it had the 542 horsepower, it was the Cummins QSB 6.7s, straight shaft, and it was it really was more than enough for the challenge. It felt like the right amount of power. There's some pretty good range at the slower ends if you do choose to slow it down. I think at 8.7 knots, we got a range of about 826 miles.
Wow.
So it's
impressive. It's a flybridge model, so there are 2 helm stations for the crew to run the boat from, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And the flybridge really was, it's kind of a cliche to say, but it was a really big space. It felt like a flybridge that was bigger than, a 58-foot boat.
A lot of space aboard. A couple of staterooms can accommodate a family for a long-distance cruise, I would imagine.
Definitely. It was the forward VIP and then the master amidships. I bunked up in the guest stateroom, which would have been more than adequate. Your TV and plenty of space. So, definitely nice for maybe a modest-sized family or a pair of couples to go cruising.
Okay. So Dan, thank you for talking with me today about the new Summit. I did enjoy your story. I want to encourage everyone to read about the boat in an upcoming issue of Power Motoryacht magazine. There'll be coverage of the Summit in Soundings as well. And hopefully, after we all have a chance to read about the boat, we can see it in person. The Summit is scheduled to debut at the Newport International Boat Show in September. Dan, I'll look for you there.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope the next video we get to do together is in person. And I know there's a built-in blender in the cockpit of the Summit, and so hopefully we can toast to better times.
Absolutely. You sign me up. I'll meet you there.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'll talk to you later, Gene.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.